Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is again the 6 of 1 football show. We're back again. Now, there's this place. It's called the Theatre of Dreams. But some say they weren't dreaming very much until this man came in. I like to call him Ragnarok. You know, like out of 4, like, Loki, you're my brother, Loki. And Thor's coming, oh, Loki, please don't do it. And now they're ready. They're ready to go. They got 4 behind them. And everyone's a bit more up for this now. But there's this guy. His name's Arteta. They say he's good at just putting out the cones for old Pep, but something's changed. You know, maybe he's letting them take the sessions now. We are going to find all of this and more on the 6 of 1 football show on FTV Sports. You are in the right place, people.
Never give up on us. Now we're on the road to you. Right now, all our dreams can be made. I will be kings of football again. England!
Welcome, everybody. I hope you liked my 4 impression. I've been working on it quite a lot, and I believe it's got to a good standard, so it had to come out. So we have a great panel on tonight. Welcome, Amondi from the Man United Agenda. He's a bit big time, this man, and he's come on my show. I'm well happy with that. And Talk MU as well from the Man United Agenda. Thank you for coming on, mate.
No problem.
Also, Michael Reed, bit of a regular on the 61 show now. How you doing today, Mike?
Very well, thank you. Looking forward to discussing the hottest game of the week in the next hour.
Hottest game it is, just like Ragnarok. Adam, how you doing, mate? Bit of a regular now as well. Good to see you,
good,
bro.
mate. Nice to be back on. Good to see
Thank
everyone.
you for coming
No
on
worries.
again.
Pleasure's
And
been-
finally, Alex, all the way from Norway. How you doing, Alex?
Good.
So, in the red corner, we'll call it the red corner, we've got Amondi, Talk, and Alex, obviously, on the United side of things. And then we'll call it yellow, because you're red, we're yellow. It's me, kind of part-time, Mike and Adam. So, you know, I always like to start these. This is the Arsenal Man United or Man United Arsenal preview. I like to start, which is your best ever moment from Man United versus Arsenal. So your best ever moment. We'll start with you, Amondi. We'll go around. What's your best ever moment? You can be biased.
All right. You hit me with that. There's so many good moments and great games between the two of us. I'm gonna have to say the semi-final, FA Cup semi-final, '99. That was epic. I think we were both almost at our peaks then. I think if we would have lost that game, we might not have had the so-called treble that we always rave on about. Arsenal were a scary team, great team as well. And the thing is, to have 10 men and to do that against the Arsenal side, I think that was epic for me. Everyone remembers it. I just think that game was just like life-changing for a lot of the players, and it made Fergie. It really made Fergie. That the whole treble was based around that game. After that, everything was just a breeze.
Would you say that's probably the greatest FA Cup goal ever scored by Giggs?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's not. I don't think that's a good goal. It's not a good goal. At all. He ran in a straight line and just done a little
Bad defending
and just blasted in. Yeah, I don't think it was a great goal at all. People rave about it.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah.
He gave Giggsy the ball and Arsenal won fuck all. Yeah, that's what they say. That is a good memory. Not for us. I remember Bergkamp missing that penalty. Listening on the radio, I was gutted. Talk, what's your favourite Man United Arsenal moment?
That was a great goal, by the way. Giggs' goal, but nothing will ever surpass the absolute joy of us watching you just absolutely crumble in that 8-2. It was marvellous. It was marvellous. It was just sensational. Talk about the theatre of dreams, mate. Honestly, that was like we were like on top of the world. You know what I mean? Like Christ the Redeemer, and on the top of the Brazilian mountains. There, we were just over the world. The greatest.
Yeah, that was another painful one. I remember getting very, very drunk after that game. We'll stay with the Man United. We'll get the Man United out of the way. Alex, what is your favourite Man United versus Arsenal memory? Any
I
different
mean-
to Talks or Amondi?
No, actually, they meant. I mean, Amanda mentioned it first. That was my first thought. Was the Giggs goal? I mean, that was amazing. But then, since he mentioned that, I was about to mention what was the second choice with the 8-2. But those two games, those two free kicks from Rooney, that goal from Ashley Young, that was a special game. That was
Only we could let Ashley Young score so many goals against us. He couldn't hit a barn door against anyone else, but he played Arsenal. It was just like, yeah, I'm just going to ruin you here. Okay, that was depressing. Let's go, Mike. What was your favourite memory, mate?
See, weirdly, two of my favourite memories are violence orientated. So the punch
the
up
spirit.
the punch up at Old Trafford, I think it was in '91, was awesome.
Yeah.
And then when Van Nistelrooy missed the penalty, that was just hilarious to watch. With the way I know they'll bang out of order, but Keown. So I think they're up there. I think in terms of actual football, I think the when we came back from and won 2-1 in injury time at the Emirates, when we scored those two late goals, Van Persie and Henry, that was being there. That was pretty special for that. It's probably one of, if not the best atmosphere I've known at the Emirates. So I think for being there in the flesh, that's probably what the best experience I've had in a United Arsenal game. But not the best game I've been or seen. But I think in terms of the intensity of those couple of minutes, that was pretty amazing.
It was good. I actually thought we could win the league then. And guess
Yeah,
what?
we've been saying that a
didn't.
lot since then.
I was running through the stands going, we're going to win the league. And then
Yeah.
3 weeks later, it was like, yeah, we're not going to win the league. Adam, what's your favourite, mate?
You pretty much took the exact words out of my mouth, Mike. Like that 91 Limpard's goal, we won that game despite the fight. I always remember that. That was a massive one. The crossbar when Van Nistelrooy hit the crossbar from the penalty. I was with one of my mates in the pub, and he's a Man United fan, and it was so tense, it was just so tense. And that moment, I was
The
just
relief was
shameless,
huge,
right
wasn't
in
it?
his face, screaming in his face, just like Keown. So they were really, obviously, really big moments. But I think if I have to choose one separate from that, it's probably going to be another moment of violence. It was Reyes' last thing that he ever did for us was 2-foot Gary Neville and get sent off in revenge for the Mike Riley game, like where him and his brother just battered him. It's really hard to think of memories that are just purely football with Arsenal and United because there's been so much beef over the years and just the most competitive games where, just the worst in terms of like your territorial supportership just comes across because you just want to win them so much, and so many great games and obviously some terrible ones for us. But yeah, they probably the same memories, but good on Reyes for just getting that last bit of revenge,
He knew what it was all about. Mine has to be Overmars. Goes through 1-0.
In 98.
Great game. It needed to win that. How many games we had to win in a row? I think we had 7 games in hand or 8, and everyone was like, "Nah, they're not gonna win those games in hand." And lo and behold, we did, and that was the turning point. That
It was the Wiltord goal as well, isn't there?
The one when he jumps over him in the celebration like a midget. That's always a good one.
Just, can I add another one as well?
You can.
We went to Highbury League Cup '93, maybe. Lee Sharp scored
Lee Sharp hat-trick.
Yeah.
That was 91, that was.
6-2. 6-2
There was another 6-1, wasn't there? In the league where you just turned us over.
Yeah, but that was like a turning point when I knew we were really a proper side, because obviously the George Graham side you had, that late 80s, early 90s, Arsenal were a force, and to beat them like that in the League Cup, that showed me we were on it. We were, and that was
Rodney Wallace scored. I remember Rodney Wallace.
Danny.
The thing
Danny
is,
Wallace.
who cares about the League Cup? Let's just go for
We all do now because we're rubbish.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're going for this season.
Yeah.
Although you're still in the Champions League, so we'll come on to that because I've got some feelings on that. Shah sent this in at 10 o'clock this morning. Come on, United. He was looking forward to the show. Good lad. Thank you. Lunku says, evening. I'm a neutral as a Liverpool fan, and we smashed up both your teams. I think it will be a draw. Lovely that. And then another Liverpool comment. Liverpool did the treble in '84.
Not a treble. That's not the treble.
And then he put laugh out loud.
It's just
Monday, of course, it was Giggs' greatest ever goal, so he agrees with you on that. And And then one more for the Liverpool. Hey guys, first and foremost, RIP AFC legend Ray Kedney. Love to his family. He passed away sadly today. So yeah, big up. Thank you, Alongi, for saying that. And second most successful player in English football, 5 league titles and 3 European Cups, to name a few. So yeah, God rest his soul. All
That
right.
was my first ever game, the Ray Kennedy testimonial. That was my
Nice.
first ever Arsenal game.
Nice. Was he at Liverpool first and then Arsenal? Because there's no way.
Arsenal first. He won the double with Arsenal in '71.
You know where he won a
Yeah.
European Cup.
Yeah.
Because we haven't won that very many times. All right, cool. So that was our best Man U and Arsenal moments. If you missed that, sorry I missed the banner there. So Loki Ragnarok. So Ragnick, we'll start with the Man United guys first. I want to know what you know about the man. What will you change for the team? Is he going to make a massive difference, and will that have a bearing on this weekend's result? And does he have a hint of Louis van Gaal to him? What do you think, Amondi?
Oh God! Look, this is my third show today, so I'm all talked out with Ragnick. But let me give you. I'm going to repeat this. Let me just give you my views on it. I think it's a great appointment. We've been poor under Ollie, no direction, no philosophy of play, can't break teams down, and the players were sort of, once Ronaldo turned up and everything else, players were a bit more brave now to sort of voice it and air it, because we were really performing well. People seem to think you just get trump card players and we'd win games. It's not the case. You need to have a philosophy of play, as Arsenal do. They're starting to show they're being one of the best performing teams, I think, this season. Free-flowing team. It's really nice to watch, and great to be an Arsenal fan right now based on what you've got and the youth coming through. You're starting to get behind your manager. But as for us, obviously we had to sack the guy, as Ole Kunle was saying. We got beat by Liverpool, beat by City, beat by a lot of teams and not performing well. I think they've made a great appointment in beginning Ragnick for a few reasons. For one, he's like a godfather. He's like the sensei. He's got his own dojo up in the mountains, you know. He's like a Shaolin monk. And anyone who wants to learn his secrets of his style, like Klopp and Tuchel and all these guys, they have to travel all the way up there and learn and become a disciple, and then come and share it with the world. And they become little deities in their own right at their club, you know, performing this really good philosophy and good style of play, which is a good modern style of play. Football evolves a lot of the time, and we've probably seen this in the 50s, or football's a great game, 11 players on the pitch, and with so many tactical options you could have, and to tweak it like this and get this sort of modern system that everyone's raving about, and for us to get the Godfather, the most high guy, we called him down, gave him a summons, and he's come down. He's turned his head. He's come down. He's going to perform miracles for us at Man United, because it's exactly what we need. This will be his biggest club, biggest stage to really perform it, and I think it's. He's got no ego. Ticks all the boxes as far as I'm concerned. And we will, starting from Villarreal, starting from Chelsea, we've seen him already have his influence. I'm sure he's given
Carrick, wasn't it? That was Carrick.
No, he's given Carrick the drills. You perform it at training. We've seen
he's
it.
on the blower. He's on the blower going, no, Carrick, you need to drop
all that kind of thing.
No,
we've seen
no.
change come through. Because he's not just going to say, I'll come in next week and start from scratch. No, he said, I want you to implement this already, so when I come in, the boys are on it, got to know it. Because as Klopp mentioned, it's going to be really difficult with English football. There's games every few days, especially when you're in the Champions League, guys. There's games every few days, so we're going to be, it's not hard to sit down and have a week off training where people can learn it. So you're going to need a high IQ, you're going to need to be fit, and you're going to need to be a disciple, a student, as we all are, as fans, to learn the system, and as players to learn the system as well, and perform it in the training and on the pitch eventually. So give us I think we're starting to see the effects of it now already with 2 good results, but give us a couple more weeks and we'll be firing on all cylinders based on the good core players that we have, and we will all be doing bits. So you're the first victims, unfortunately, and you won't be able to counter our style.
Well, just like, you know what, take that said, it only takes a minute to fall in love, and Amondi, you clearly have. Talk, are you as in love as Amondi here? Like, is he a Shaolin monk? Is he going to bring on Man United to the next level?
Look, he is a fabulous tactician. We know that. Innovator, everything else. And in terms of football evolving, I think it's more a case of players evolving rather than football, because players are more, they got better technical abilities. You know, the diets are better, the training regimes are better. You know, the physical conditions are much better. So I think it's more, in my opinion, about the players being able to adapt to these ideas. So we've got the players to do that. Obviously, we know we've got problems in the midfield and stuff, but this guy, you know, he is a bit of a taskmaster. He's got certain rules that need to be stuck to. Also, I believe that I can't remember which club it was. It might have been Wolfsburg, where he had the players using club cars. He said to them, don't be turning up in your Bentleys, don't be turning up in your Ferraris and your Lambos and all this kind of nonsense. You turn up in club cars. Now, for me, that's got...
What's a club car?
You know,
like a hire car.
The Skoda.
Normal cars.
Normal cars.
Yeah. So I can see what he's trying to do there. Is that the first step to that is like, look, if you can't do a simple task, what I'm asking you to do, and I'm your boss, then you're off on the wrong foot already, aren't you? If you believe in this guy, if he says to you, I want you to come in on a bike, you come in on a bike. Right? This is how it's got to be. You got to listen. You can't be going, no, I'm different. I want to come in my Range Rover or in my Bentley or whatever. No, you do what you do what you're told under these types of managers. Because
I just think Pogba dealing with that.
Well, he's gonna have to deal with it, innit? If not, on your bike, son, see you in a bit. I'm not too fussed about individual players when it comes.
Do you think Pogba can ride a bike?
Do you know what? I don't know, but I reckon he can. Yeah, no problem on that. But like I say, when it comes to individual players, I never hold on to individual players. Not even Ronaldo. If you're not good enough, if you're not doing the performance, sorry, mate, sit on the bench or go somewhere else. Because no player is ever going to take the place of what I want the club to do. I don't want to play a player just because it's Paul Pogba or Cristiano Ronaldo or whoever. No chance. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in Man United.
Do you think he's going to bring back success to? Let's put it this way: do you think he's going to win United a trophy this season?
I think our best. To be totally honest with you, I think our best bet of a trophy this season, if you look at how we've been playing and what we've been doing in most of our play, which is really defending and mostly defending badly. Well, now that's turning around. So for me, I think we've got a really good chance in the Champions League. We've got pace to slap teams on the break, and we know now how to. We're getting better at defending. You know what? And yeah, I know what I'm only saying about this thing with Rangnick and Carrick, but there's no way on this earth that Carrick is on the phone being a puppet for Rangnick. Rangnick has not got his hand up Michael Carrick's ass and saying to him, right, you go out there, I'm giving you these instructions. If it all goes south, though, you're going to have to take the blame for it. No way. No way. I'm not having it. I don't believe that for 1 minute. He will be inspired by Rangnick. You know what? And he might have had a chat with him. But he's not taking...
few Zoom calls.
He's not taken a full-on, this is what you're going to do and this is who you're going to pick. No way. Because why would you disrespect Michael Carrick like that?
He's not very good. But, I mean, look, you heard it here first, Talk. You're going to win the Champions League. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, well, we're going to move on because we've got plenty more to talk about. Alex, what's your opinion on Rangnick? Is he going to win you the Champions League, or is he just going to be another Louis van Gaal?
No, I think, already been mentioned. You know, he's called the godfather of German football. He's inspired the entire generation of coaches below him, and he's got a very, very distinct style of play, and it's a little bit, But I think that when United was good under Ollie as well, and good, I mean by. At the time when he didn't have the right players to play,
half decent, got it, yeah.
Yeah, but when he did his clear out and he was sitting there with he didn't have the squad. I mean, he was playing Daniel James and he was playing high press. I mean, he had all these.
Well, we like Dan James, don't we, Amondi? I mean, we had lots of talks about Dan James. Yeah. I thought he was world class.
But okay, everybody knows Daniel James is not world class, but what he does do is run. And in the tough games, Ollie was putting on his runners. He was playing with Fred, McTominay, James, and Rashford up front, also runner, and so on and so on. So I mean, before they could match a team by playing football, they were actually trying to do the high press and trying to lead a pack and press high and everything, but it doesn't work unless everybody does it. So this Rangnick guy did say like something interesting, which is you're not half pregnant. How is it possible to half press, right? So if you're going to press, you need to press. And I think what I've seen this season is that, you know, you might have one person leading the line. You have Bruno going all frontal into a high press, and then nobody's following him, and they're not in sync. It needs to be a pack. And so at the end of the day, I think that, you know, if they are going to play that style, I think the team and the squad is probably quite well versed already on the tactics and the idea behind it. But now he's taking it to the next level, and I think that, you know, we have missed a little bit of identity, because I know that Ollie was trying to move away from that, but that was just a means to an end because he didn't have the players. Then suddenly, when you had the players, you didn't actually have have anything working. So I understand Ollie had to go. He lost the dressing room. So hopefully, what this guy brings in is a bit of law and order and a little bit of fear. And because at the end of the day, what's happened is that Ollie has literally built a team on paper that's, you know, should be one of the best squads in the world. So player for player, it's ridiculous. But yeah, if they don't work together, and I think that's what this guy will bring, is that, you know, he brings a cohesiveness. He'll bring some form of stability back to the club. And you know, do I think we're going to win something this year? I mean, you have Ronaldo trying to win the Champions League by himself. So I mean,
why not?
You never know what's going to happen with Ronaldo in the Champions League. So I wouldn't count out United. Look, Chelsea.
There we have it. Monday, I didn't ask you. Do you think you can win the Champions League now?
Yeah, anything's possible. With the group of players we have, and what Alex was saying as well, as well as talking you, I think, yeah, it's a possibility.
Perfect. So
look, Chelsea won it last year, you know. So I mean,
yeah,
did anybody expect them to win it? And what did they do? They got, like Omondi said, one of his disciples in, and then suddenly they win the Champions League. And suddenly all the players that they had, which barely managed to get top four.
You heard it here first. Man United are going to win the Champions League. Adam, what do you think? Do you think that, you know, Ragnarok is the man to bring them the Champions League?
It's hard to say. It's like, so first of all, is he just coming in as caretaker then, or is he coming in as the replacement?
6 months. 6
6
months.
months.
He wants
So
the job.
obviously it's
He
one
wants
of
the
those
job
where
full time though.
they probably aren't going to be that
consultancy
confident in him. There's got to be something going on whereby, like, I know he's been out of the game for a little bit, but whereby, like, coming in and not getting, like, most big managers will be coming into that and getting like a 4 or 5 year contract straight away, 3 year minimum, and then, you know, like whatever. So coming in for 6 months caretaker, there's something there that says maybe the club doesn't think that he is the right man long term. He might be the man to give you what you need. Like,
he got a 2 year he's got a 2 year consultancy after the 6 months. So
I thought it was 12 months. Is it 2 years?
2 years.
2 years.
But I mean, yeah, even so, like on you know, in terms of him as a manager, I've heard a lot of good things about him from Germany. He's been out of the game for a little bit, so it's obviously hard to say he hasn't been at a big club like United before. And we've seen other big managers come into, or other managers that you think have got a really good reputation, really good footballing philosophy, come into big clubs and just not really do it. I think that the point I made about Pogba is, like, the issue is, I completely agree with you. Like, no player is bigger than the team, but the way that football is at the minute, there's a lot of players that are bigger than a lot of teams, whether they shouldn't be or not. So a lot of it relies on whether, when he comes in, if he puts these rules into place and those players don't want to play by those rules, then he's only got a certain amount of time, because, you know, it's just, it all does depend on how the players respond to him, doesn't it? So if he comes in and the players, you know, respect the guy and they believe in his project, then yeah, he's definitely got a chance, you know, because he knows what he's talking about in terms of tactics. He's got some really innovative ways of looking at the game. I've heard him speak. He's very knowledgeable, but again, there's a lot of egos to manage there, because you have essentially, as you say, got a team on paper that should be winning things. So
but that's what, Adam, that's what I was getting at. The first point is, he comes in and says, right, listen, lads, you ain't coming in your cars, you're going in club cars, right? And as soon as the first ones that start making the noise about it and don't accept it, there you go. Then he can
I'll
start.
be like,
Yeah, and I agree, but then,
I'm walking
but
into
then
training.
what if those players are real role models and, you know,
Tough.
top of the pecking order in terms of
Tough.
the other players?
Listen,
Because then the
we have to
problem
make
is that if they don't listen and
I
no
know,
one's on
I know what you're
board,
saying.
it's player
Oh.
power, isn't it? And it's like if
No,
the
no.
players just aren't on board with it, then that's not going to save the manager. Not everyone's going to go, well, they didn't listen to you. Like, if it doesn't change results, it doesn't change. So it is the right philosophy
what
to
is
have,
it?
and I agree with it. But whether it works at United is another thing, isn't it?
What is it though for players? What do they want? What do they want more than anything? They've already got the money. They've got the
Their
fame.
cars.
They want to win.
Their cars.
They want to
They
win.
bring to train.
No. They want to win. Players want to win. They want. That's why. Why do you think they come off looking all pissed off and getting upset? They want to win. So
Yeah, no,
you know
I
what?
think for the most part. But then again, being at Arsenal, I've seen players where it's just like, you know, we've had teams where it doesn't feel like they care if they win because they are getting paid. And not to say that that's, you know,
but
right.
that's
I
my
don't
point.
agree with that, but
That's my
is
point.
the game.
What I'm
isn't
getting
it,
at
you know?
that's exactly what I'm getting at. Is the ones that who don't want to win on your bike, pal, sling it. I'm not interested. I'm here to win. If you want to win, you do as I tell you. If you don't, you're sitting on the bench, or you're sitting with the reserves, or you're sitting with the youngsters. And he's not here to mess about. He's
There
here
we go.
to switch things
There's a
around.
comment
So,
here. It is what has he won? Has he won anything?
Not a lot.
Michael, has he
Yeah.
won anything?
he has
He's
a
not
few
won
things,
any
yeah.
major trophies, I don't think.
Oh,
Hold on.
Amandi,
Yeah, this is
He's
the,
won
this is
like
the
a
question
German cup game, isn't he?
by unintelligent fans and people who don't really know football. When you say something like that, what has he won? What has he won?
well, I
It's not
didn't say
about
it. It's just a
It's
comment.
question.
Well, Ole, I'm talking to Ole Kunle. All right, it's easy to say that, right? But if you look at a manager like Brian Clough, he didn't manage big teams, but his philosophy, he had a philosophy, simple play. He had instructions for each of his players, and he stayed at Nottingham Forest for so many years and never won an FA Cup, for example. All right, but really, when it peaked, he won 2 European Champions League or European Cups in a row. So it's not about what he's won. What you have to look at, he's a coach. He's
Hang on a
develops
sec.
clubs and players, and look at all
Amandi.
the list of players that he's produced.
Amandi, though, what has he won? I just want to know, like, what
Okay,
has he won, though?
I can show. I've got everything here, notes. Everything. He's he's won a domestic league title, not league titles. He's brought a team up from the 4th division up to the 1st division. He's brought them down a team from the 2nd division up to the 1st division and competed. You know, so he hasn't got an ego. He develops players. It's what
Okay,
coaches
so-
do.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying. It's not always
we've
about
cleared
winning
that up.
free trophies.
He hasn't won anything. Okay.
No, he has.
So-
He actually has. He has won a lot of stuff.
That's
But
cool. We're
with
going to keep
smaller
going.
clubs.
Amanda,
Yeah.
we've got to keep going
Sorry.
because we won't want to run out of time. So, Mike, what's your opinion on him? Is he just another Louis van Gaal? We've just discovered he hasn't won anything so far, but he is clearly a good manager because a lot of managers credit him. What's your opinion on him?
I'm surprised by, and this is not just on this actual podcast, but the optimism and excitement of United fans, because I think if you look at Manchester United, you know, one of the top 2 richest clubs in the world, how you cannot attract someone that is right in the middle of being there, the people winning it. I'm just a bit shocked by it, to be honest. And I get the
Like
kind
who
of
though?
he's a
Who do you
godfather.
mean? Who do you mean? I don't know. Tell us who you mean.
What? So how? What? Another manager? You
Attract.
don't know what, yeah.
Attract.
I mean, I
Who-
could be like, who was it? Was it Rio Ferdinand when he said I could be director of football? Who would you sign? I don't know. You know, so I'm not saying no to that, but I would not have put Rangnick as a top pick to go for if you're looking at managers across. And I think because you know the points already been made that Ollie's basically got a team that's like a fantasy football team where if you look at them individually, they're great. But yeah, Rangnick, he's one of those managers. Like we've had great managers coming through that get better. You know, the sum is greater than the sort of the individual parts put together. And this feels like it's the other way around, where United have great individuals, but they're not putting together a great team. As we've seen at Arsenal over the last few years, when Arteta came in and he tried his way of football with the players that we had, it did not work. You know, the kind of the high press, it wasn't working. And I think that whilst, you know, the Brian Clough example is great, you've given Rangnick a kind of a 6-month job to do. It feels to me almost like he's coming in to kind of steady the ship and bring some order, like he's going to do. But in terms of him going up, as you're saying, kind of casting aside maybe a Ronaldo or a Pogba, I just think that's a really be cool when you're throwing away kind of, you know, hundreds of £1,000s a week. You know, what worries me, I think, about Rangnick the most is that what I've heard from a lot of United fans is that the manager or the coach is not the problem. it's the way the club's been run, or what, above and beyond that. And I don't know how much influence he's going to have around that side of things. So for me, it kind of feels like he will probably, I know we'll come on to predictions. I think he will bring in a lot more resilience, and I think that there will be less embarrassment. I think you'll get some better results than when Ollie was in. I just don't see him being the man that's going to revolutionise things. And I don't think United see him as that man either. I think he's come in to maybe build a new approach and a new philosophy. I feel that they've got someone lined up for the end of the season that's going to come in and work with him for me. So I think it's a bit of a stopgap.
But
there you go. You heard it here first. So let's go through some more comments. 007, hot on this one today. Have to agree, United will need a miracle to make top 4.
Who's it?
What are
agree
United
with? Who
fans
said
going
that?
to be saying if he wants CR7 gone? He's not going to want CR7 gone. He's the best player in the world. No, Darren Fletcher had an earphone and was barking orders to the players, bypassing Carrick. Oh, it's all going on today, isn't it?
If
6 months.
Rangnick was giving orders to Carrick, though, shouldn't we make a call to the Home Office? Because he ain't really got a visa, has he? Do you know what I mean?
There we go. That's what we're talking about. 6 months and 2 years as a consultant on Football Managers. Maybe it happens. Dex the man says, Adam loves Arsenal so much he sounds like my uncle on weed. There we go.
Sounds like my nephew, to be fair.
Barnes is my role model. There we go. I don't know Barnes. He's talking John Barnes.
John Barnes must be.
Yeah, he is a
John
legend.
Barnes.
We all love so many. And 007 back. What bug club has he worked with at Superstar Egos? And this one's for you, Amondi. Haha, Amondi triggered.
I'm just slapping up unintelligent fans.
Brian
Hold on a minute.
Football has
But
moved
Ollie,
on.
Hold on.
Ollie, look at Ollie. Look at Ollie. Look at Ollie. Right, and why is the narrative that Manchester United has been so shit the last few years?
Exactly.
An unknown manager finished second place last year, beat Tuchel, beat Klopp, and the unknown manager, ended second and beat.
Can I just say? Sorry, can I just say? You need to listen. All this steadying the ship. What's all this steadying the ship nonsense about? What? So all of a sudden the ship's all over the place again. It isn't. Ollie did a great job, and I'll tell you something else as well. I put it out in a tweet. I had somebody trying to ask me to explain why I said what I said, which was Ollie did a fantastic job, and he was the only one who could have done what he did. And I had somebody tweet me going, "Oh, blah blah blah." We'll explain why. And I said, "Listen, if you need me to fucking explain to you, right? If you're supposedly a Man United fan, then go off and learn it yourself. Because I ain't telling you. Because obviously you haven't got a fucking clue. So do one." Simple.
Okay. Listen.
Sorry. Ollie didn't do a great job, in my opinion. Terrible job. Didn't do anything.
What?
Hang on.
Anyway, let the host run things.
We've done a lot of Ragnarok, as we said. It's been like Loki. No, you're my brother. No, he's good. No, he's bad. Who's Ollie? No. So we've had that, and thank you very much for some very good comments there. But now we've got to move on to a better manager, and his name is Arteta. So let's start with you, Michael. Are we starting to see Arteta's vision? Because back in the past, it was always like Arsenal can't defend. They're very easy to beat. They're easy to play against. Now we're one of the best defensive teams in the league. We're top of the clean sheet league. Obviously, we haven't beaten anyone big this season in terms of the top 3. But do we feel like maybe we're going in the right direction and maybe this should be a game we should be winning?
So I think the first part of that question is easier to answer, which is yes, we are going in the right direction. I think you can see with the players that he's brought in, particularly in the summer. I mean, we've had some absolutely shocking summer signing episodes, and when you look at what Arteta's brought in, every one of them really has hit the ground running and brought the team up by a huge degree. So I think he's absolutely taken us onto a new level from where we've been recently. And I think you can see there's a vision and there's a style of football, and that people kind of are now able to fit into that model. That's always been the big problem, I think, with Arteta, is trying to get people, like a Pablo Mari to kind of, fit into the model, whatever it might be, or Callum Chambers playing at right back. It's just not had the people, and now he's finding the people for it. As we saw against Liverpool, he's got a long way to go, though. And I've seen some people say actually it wasn't that bad. Arsenal, maybe it was it was a bit of a actually not a real reflection of the game, the 4-0 scoreline, but it felt like it watching it, to be honest, because we were just we never looked out the game for quite a long time, but we never looked in the game as well. So in terms of the game coming up on Thursday night, are we doing predictions now? Because I feel like
no, we'll save the predictions to the end.
Okay,
Don't
but
worry.
anyway, I think he's got the right thing, but I still think that it's with such a young
I
team.
guess the question is though, should we be now expecting to go into this game expecting a win? We did win there last season.
I don't think we've lost there for 3 seasons, which is pretty incredible for us in terms of how we used to get on Old Trafford. So I think we should do. Yeah, I think we should be thinking that we can go there and get results. And it is a very different reflection to before that. I still think we have this inconsistency at the moment, where we are just kind of struggling in some games, which you get with so many young players. So that's my fear. It's more or less when that inconsistency is going to happen. If it happens against Newcastle, you can get away with it. Once it happens against one of the biggest sides, and you don't have a game when everyone's on it and your star people kind of putting through, that's when I think some of our sort of gap between the top teams starts to show up a bit more. So we should do, but I'm taking nothing for granted as we go to every
Michael, actually, you've got a comment. It says, Michael, that's a blatant lie. I think he's referring to Dexter Maz is referring to probably the first thing that you said on is Arteta taking us in the right direction. Who knows? Oh, Michael's gone now. So, it was his first comment and he's gone. He upset so much. He's gone. Okay, Adam, what's your fault? Don't worry, Mike's back. He's back.
It was too much.
It just needed a second to take a breather.
Dex Maz, you've got to rein it in, bruv. Adam, what's your opinion on Arteta?
I think I wanted him to succeed, and I was one of the people that before they got Emery in, when they were talking about Arteta, I felt for me he was just someone that in a way was symbolic of the compromises that we made, like when we let Fabregas go and we got Arteta in. Now Arteta's a great player, and he was a great player, but at that time I felt it just felt to me like he was symbolic of the compromises that we've made in the past. But yeah, again, like Mike says, the signings that we brought in, they're so good, and I don't think they were on anyone's radar, so they all seem to have come out of nowhere. Even Tavares, I know he had a few wild shots at the weekend, but for me, his work rate, his energy, the fact that he wanted to drive forward so much, and the fact that he wants to have shots, because that's one of the things that we've really suffered from. I think we've had like the most off-target shots from outside the box this season, which it's not the end of the world for me, because like the amount of times we've just like kicked it backwards and forwards, and you just you want to see people wanting to score, and it's felt like in the past that we haven't wanted to score. The other side of that is we haven't probably been scoring as much as we should be scoring. We are winning, like Mike said again. Newcastle, there was definitely issues in that game, and it's a game that I feel like we should be winning by more when you see that what Newcastle have been like, this season as well. But we got the win, and it's at the end of the day, that's the main thing, isn't it? But I do like the way that Arteta's taken, the club. It's taken a bit of time to kind of see that work. This season, we're starting to actually see it, and there's shades of some beautiful football in there. Like the first goal was lovely, and hopefully all those things and like that just that little bit of dullness that we still have, you hope that will evolve over the next year or so into being that, the last few minutes of the first half of the Newcastle game, just pure pressure, just winning the ball high up the pitch, just being just an absolute nuisance. That's what I want to see more of. And I think, I've been really encouraged by him, and I've probably been proved a bit wrong to what I initially thought.
Should we be expecting to win this game?
I would say purely on form,
form,
yes, but then the fact that United have had this, it's all. I'm the most superstitious person in the world, so you haven't scored against us in the last 3 games, I think. So, don't think United have ever done that before. I might be wrong, but I don't think we've gone like 4 games without scoring against us, as far as I can remember. So I think it's it's a difficult one to call. I think if we go out on current form, we should win. But United are on a little bit of a, we've got rid of Ollie. We're gonna like it just impress the new manager. Like it's just that bump you get from that change because they obviously wanted him out. They weren't on board. Now he's gone. It just depends what Man United turn up. So you know me, I'm quite sit on the fence because I'm superstitious. But we could beat them. We might not.
All right. Well,
you know what? I just want to say, for me, this is going to come down to something quite simple, which is who makes the first mistake. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
okay.
We'll
come
hold that
talk.
thought.
Hold it, mate. We're gonna come around. Alex, what do you think? Do you think that Ragnarok coming in is going to give you what you need, and it's giving you that hope and the belief that you're gonna beat us? It is at Old Trafford. Are you confident going into this one? Or do you think that Arteta has the knowledge now and can go out there and get a result?
I think with this game specifically, I think it's not good timing for Arsenal, to be honest. I think if they played maybe a couple of weeks ago, different story. But I think
Carrick is still in the dugout, though. Carrick is still in the dugout.
Yeah, but they have to impress a new manager, and the new manager is watching them, and they're going to
Yeah, but
lose
what if
the
they
team.
get pissed off about having to take the club electric car into work? I mean, that's not going to fly, is it?
You probably won't get that rule in by Thursday. I don't think. They'll be safe for a couple more days.
No,
I won't bank on it. I won't bank on it.
You asked the question like, what is this guy done in his management career or whatever, right? And he's the type of guy that starts on fantasy football or fantasy manager or whatever in the third division, and then he builds the club up through time. He's a club builder, right? So that's why he's there. So it's much more difficult to go onto the third level and then start trying to build a Champions League team eventually. So and he's done this 2 times where he's built a team from lower divisions to a European team. So I mean that's a little bit what United needs in general. I think Ollie was actually doing that a little bit. I think the squad he's built is good, and he's managed to attract good players. He's good at buying players, the right players. But then tactically, I mean,
Alex, we've talked about Ragnarok. Let's just focus on Arteta for a second.
Yeah. So
do you think Arteta has enough in his locker, even with your new manager bounce, to get? I say to get a win. I don't care about a draw, but I'd take a draw to get the win at Old Trafford. Or do you think what has changed?
No, I think. Look, I think that's the thing with that's kind of back to the Arteta thing. I don't think it's really to do with Arteta in that game. I think it's to do with United and it almost doesn't matter how Arsenal, what they're told what to do. I think they're going to be swamped by players that just have extra energy specifically on that day, and then that might fade over time. But when you're really trying to impress somebody, you are going to give 150%, and I don't think that Arsenal's going to match that.
I get that. When you got a bird on the side and you're like, I really want to impress this bird. You really want to get in there, and you make that extra effort. It's a bit like that. Is that what you're saying?
But mentioned it earlier a little bit. But like when you look at the game on the weekend with Chelsea, I mean, for the first time they were running like crazy again, And you saw Sancho was really good on the press. He was aggressive. You have Rashford also is strong on the press and aggressive, and so. I just hope. I mean, not hope, but I think that I don't know. It's a different game, but for some reason, I just don't see Ronaldo fitting into that, and we'll see. We'll see if he plays him up. I think.
All right. Well, the next section is key players, so you can bring out your key players on that. Talk what you're saying. Although I will put in one thing: Arteta has won more than Ragnarok, so. Over to you, Tor.
Yeah, no, like I was saying, I mean, first mistakes, because that's one thing Arsenal are good at is
making mistakes.
Ronaldo is moving the ball quickly. Now, if Arteta can have Arsenal doing that, he's going to be fully aware of what we're going to try and do. He's clever enough to work that out, right? So if they do that, this is what I'm talking about, mistakes. We can make the mistake of going, right, let's go for him, bush, bang, 100 mile an hour, and Arsenal just go, I'm just going to play in front of you. Pass it, pass move really quick, one touch, and we're chasing shadows, and we could come unstuck. Now, it's whether Arteta can actually get that across to the players and whether your players are going to be as enthusiastic, as Alex says, as our players. Is that going to be the case? Who's going to be more fired up in this game? And I would say, yeah, of course it's going to be Man United. It's because we're at Old Trafford, we're at home. Yeah, like Alex says, a manager to impress. But again, I'm not gonna look at Arteta as some kind of fool and a clown, because I don't believe for 1 second that he is. I believe he's a good manager in the making. I believe he's got a lot of great qualities. He's definitely, you can see the improvements. There's no two ways about that. And it was always going to be a process of, time. He's always going to be that with Arsenal. Just look at Man United and Arsenal are very similar in a lot of ways to the managers. Long-term managers, a lot of great success. Then managers disappear. Then where do you find yourselves? We're in the woods, in the wilderness, searching around for the sort of victories of yesterday. So you know what? I think Arteta is on his way. If he gets more support from the board at Arsenal, I think he can actually kick on further if he does get more to spend, etc. But it's going to come down to individual mistakes for me in this game.
Got it. Good stuff, Talkham. You, Amondi, you're a pretty big celebrity. You're a bit famous on the old show today. So we got Amondi, give us a wave.
Hi, Andy Herbert. How you doing?
And then
Big up,
Dex
Andy.
says, yeah, come on, Amondi, give us a wave. And then Anthony says, hi, Dex and Matt. It's just all going off in the chat today. And then from 007 himself, give us a wave, Amondi.
Hi, Ola. Sorry.
Free waves.
Andy Herbert's a good top Arsenal fan, by the way.
Yeah, we like Anthony. We like Anthony. He's a good lad. So, yeah, what do you think? What's your opinion on Arteta, Amondi?
Very impressed. I've always liked him from the day he came in. I like someone who's got a plan, philosophy of play, and he's stuck with it. He's, like he said, he's had to sort of wean out all the players that weren't suitable for his system. And as you see with the transfer market this last summer window, he's picked the right players. And we might not know who they were beforehand, or think, why picking a relegated goalkeeper? But he went out for him. He persisted to get the right man. And as you can see, he was right to do that now, because everyone's talking about him being England's number one and maybe the best in the Prem at the moment, based on form. He's really good. So he's obviously picked up players that fit his system, and you can see it's starting to click now, and it's a good thing. I mean, it's what I really rate about Arsenal, which they used to do, and what they're starting to do again is scoring goals in open play. That's the sign of a really good team, and that means you have to break down teams, you have to play a kind of system and have the right sort of players all in tune, and this is what you have. And it's as a band man yourself, Ollie, when you're doing your little rehearsals and everything else, once you get in tune and it sounds good, and you've got James Brown saying, yep, hey, and all this kind of thing, it clicks, So I think credit to Arteta. It's good to see a young manager be given the opportunity and to develop his what he's learned and develop it and bring it in, and you can see make that transition. So he's obviously made a transition from the old to the new, brought his new team in and refreshed it, and they're going to become everyone's second favourite team based on the eye candy football they're playing and the open scoring and open play, and with that 15 pass move he done the other day for Saka to score, which is fantastic, and bringing in youths as well. They've got a great foundation. Arsene Wenger has left them a great foundation of youth academy, which you can always fall back on, which makes you sustainable in the Premiership. So you might have had a dip, but you're starting to see now a refreshing revival at Arsenal Football Club.
Oh, Amondi. I mean, wow. I can see why they're loving the comments. It's just great.
You want to switch over to the yellow team?
I know, yeah.
Just speaking facts, bros. Just speaking facts.
It's true. It's just observation. I'm really impressed. Really impressive.
You didn't have to say that, Amondi, because, I love that. Well, there we go. Right, so we've summed up both managers, and we're already 48 minutes into the show. So now I'm going to make these ones quick fire, all right? Because we haven't got a lot of time. So what we're going to do is now is key player. So I want you to give me your key player and why he's the key player. That's all I want. Amondi, you go first. Your key player for Man United and why is he the key player for the game?
Specifically for the game on Thursday, yeah?
Yeah, your key player.
Okay. Well, I think the key player is going to be De Gea, in my opinion, because I think everyone's highlighting him as a great performer this year. I disagree. I think he's been woeful. It's okay making saves, but he's not commanding his area. He's not, like against Chelsea the other day, they had 32 crosses. He only came up. He didn't catch any of them. With the goals we conceded, he's not given any communication to the defense, making the defense look bad. Obviously, the shape was bad, and we were having people run at our defense, which is not ever easy. But I don't think he offers enough. So I want to see him develop. And I know at his age, you're saying, well, how can he develop? But I want to see him develop, learn from your young goalkeeper, be more vocal. He's fantastic vocal and has this air of confidence, that he can't be beat, and he's screaming instructions. I want to see him do the same as Ramsdale.
I mean, De Gea in the last few games for you has been pretty.
No, I disagree.
Good.
That's what I'm saying. I totally disagree with you. Totally disagree.
Really?
I think
Villarreal? I mean,
I totally disagree.
The shot stopping's good, but it's the rest of the.
I'm talking about two factors here. What Ramsdale represents: being vocal, and controlling his 6-yard box. These are two things I want him to improve on. So I think he will be our key player, because if he can start to improve on those two things, I think we'll be okay.
All right, there we go. I'm going to mix it up now. So I'm going to go to you, Adam. Who's your key player and why for Arsenal, please?
I think it's Partey for me, because when he turns up, he's a beast. But we've seen a few games where he's just been a little bit culpable. So I think for us, if he turns up and he dominates, then I think we will win it. But I think, as I say, I've seen games with him where he has just been a little bit of a passenger. He's been a little bit culpable. So it just depends which one turns up. But I think
some might say though his greatest game was against Man United.
Yeah, his debut.
And I say that he's had brilliant games and he's definitely capable. But just at the moment, he's that one player, which a few times he just seems a little bit like he can be just a little bit like he's sleeping at times.
I agree with you. I think he hasn't had a good season.
Yeah, but I think he's obviously had a few injuries, and you're coming backwards and forwards from those. But when you look at, say, Sambi next to him, who has made a few mistakes as well, but it's just like across games he might make a mistake. Whereas when Partey's had a bad game, it's been like he's had a bad game and the whole team's really suffered for it. So I think he's pivotal in that pivot role,
I think he misses Xhaka. When Xhaka's not there, Partey, he plays better when Xhaka's there, I find.
But don't you feel like those two together, though, like at the minute, they do just seem so dynamic. And if you can get that balance right with them.
Yeah, with those two,
I think they will be spot on, you know what I mean? Like
okay, well, there we go. Partey for you, Adam. Alex, who is your key player for Man United and why?
I'm going to go with Bruno. I think that ever since he's arrived, he's been the best midfielder in the Premier League, and when he's at his best, he wins games.
He's good at penalties. He's good at scoring penalties.
I mean, you can say that, but I mean,
better than Aubameyang.
Definitely.
He has the record for most goals scored in a season, and that's as a midfielder. So it's like, if he's on his game, I think that's the difference. If he doesn't, and it's also he's also very, very important in, I think, trying to lead the line in terms of the press. So if they are going all in on a press tactic, which it seems like that's the clue, I think that he's going to be super important in actually making sure that it works, because you do need him, and I hope that Ronaldo doesn't start and he's the one running the show.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think he's part of the problem. Like that's why we haven't gotten better with Ronaldo. That's a fact. So
no, that is true. But he is one of the best players in the world.
As good as he is an individual, and he is my favorite player of all time.
You hope he doesn't start.
I still don't want him to start because
that's brilliant, Alex. He's my favorite player of all time, but I don't want him to start.
Yeah, but no. In the Champions League, I think he's something else. But like, you need to run, and you need to.
He doesn't run. He is a bit lazy. When was the last time Bruno scored?
Well, I mean, he scored a hat-trick on the opening day, so I mean, he's very capable of
opening day. There we go.
I think
Bruno.
I think if Bruno plays well, I think that he's the key to winning.
Got it, Michael. Key man for Arsenal and White.
I'm going to go for Smith Rowe, and I think He's had
Are
a
you
couple
gonna
of
sing the
quiet
song?
games recently.
You gonna
No,
sing the song?
and
No, Not
no,
this.
you can. I'll leave it to the
No, it's
musician
fine.
of the. It is going to be, I think, quite a highly structured game. I think there's going to be very tight for a lot of the game. I think Smith Rowe for us is a player that is a little bit different. He will kind of move into the gaps, and I feel like he's the one that can maybe find a space, take the ball into an area that maybe that United haven't predicted, and is the one that makes us click. So I think for me, it's either Smith Rowe or Saka. But I feel like Smith Rowe's had a couple of quiet games. I feel like
Saka's
he will
out
be
as well,
for-
I think, isn't he? Saka's
I
out
think Saka's
injured, isn't he?
injured.
Oh, is he out? Is he?
Yeah, I think he
Anthony
is,
says
yeah.
I'm gutted. Saka is injured.
No, he
so
is he?
Yeah.
No, he's went off to me early.
I believe he is injured.
It's not going to
Okay.
be Pepe. That's for sure.
It might be. It might be.
In no way is it going to be Pepe, but he is world class at doing nothing. Talk who your key player for Man United and why?
I have to agree with Alex. I think Bruno, because we're going to put in all that hard work in that midfield, pressing, closing down. Once we've won the ball back, we're going to release it, and it has to be. We're going to have to rely on him to feed, the forward players, the ones in the good positions to actually get a strike at goal. We're going to have to do it quickly because I don't see Arsenal making the mistake of giving him time to try and pick something out. They're going to be on him all over him like a rash. So he's going to have to be truly on his game if it's especially getting behind Arsenal. Because Arsenal, what you're going to do is, you're going to try and put it in from wide crosses and all that. That's mainly what you're going to try and do. So, you know what? It's got to be Bruno. That's the heart of the game, isn't it?
Excellent. So, Amondi, your last, who do you think key player? Oh, no, we've done you, Amondi, haven't we?
Yeah,
De
De Gea.
Gea.
There we go, De Gea. Yeah, no, sorry, mate. Jesus, bloody Christ. I've been at work all day. Amondi, we've done everyone, haven't we? Yeah, great. Amondi, stop it. DDG is the best best keeper we have at Man United. Like I said, Anthony said gutted that Saka is injured. Talk, you have a word with Amondi. There you go, Talk.
A word on
They do
Monday.
talk a lot. So, and then we saw, when was the last time Bruno scored? But he did score a hat trick on the first day of the season, didn't he, Alex? Alex, tell them Bruno is the best midfielder in the Premier League. He was on the first day of the season, mate. Since then, he's been pretty shit. Alex, honestly, finally a Manc who understands the Premier League. Alex is not from Manchester, but that's
No.
fine. He's still a adopted Manc.
I'll make him an honorary Manc.
Yeah, that's the spirit. That's the spirit. I like that. You heard it first. He's an honorary Manc. I'm mad for it. Yes, love that. CR7 can't start worst presser in the league. Stat fact. And Dexamax, after rinsing you before, Michael, says, fair dues, Mike. Fair dues.
He trusts the process.
The irony is, I'm pretty sure Dexamax is an Arsenal fan, which is great. Okay, so we've got two more questions. We're going to run over, but who cares? I'm enjoying myself. You're a great panel. You're all beautiful people. So we're just going to carry on because, what rules are there to be broken? So that's what we're going to do. But we're going to keep it quick, though. We don't want to go too far over, right? We don't want to break the rules too much. Amondi's on the show. And
We'll be
he's almost
driving club cars.
Amondi's almost like my boss. So I don't want to upset the boss. So the next question is, we've got two questions left. What does this game mean for each team? So Amondi, if Man United lose this game, they're 8 points behind us. But if they win, they're 2 points from us, right? So what I'd say in terms of Man United, what does it mean? Is this a very important game for Man United?
Yeah, I think it's massive. Like as you say, like we're still nostalgic from the old days when we used to clash, and there's a lot of fans. I live in London, for example, as you can tell by my accent, and there's a lot of fans who are sort of giving us hell based on your first three losses and your revival, what you've done since. Arsenal on the rise, Man United have been on the low. So this is like we're trying to meet each other and find out, gauge who really is like going to be the challenge for the top four. It's almost like that. I think Arsenal don't have the squad really, even though they're playing really good football. I don't think they have the squad to really take them over 38 games. But they're ahead of us at the moment in terms of management, in terms of players being on board and being well drilled. They've had the whole summer or transfer window to get this right, and 13 games, however long it's been, to get your system right. So I think Arsenal ahead of us is really important. It's vital that Man United, based on the catalyst of change that we've had recently, that we win this game. This is important now to beat Arsenal, close the gap, and start representing again, because it will give the fans a lot more momentum going into. We've got a long, it's what it's so-called easy run going into the next few games now. We've just qualified to Champions League as well. Let's top off the week or the last 3 games since Ollie's gone by beating Arsenal, which would be a major statement based on them being above us, close the gap and get close to that top 4, and then we can start really boasting up.
Excellent. It's back on the Man United agenda style like that. Michael, is it more important for Man United this game, or is it more important for us? Can we go into this and get a draw and then we'll be happy with that? Or should we be going into this and coming away from it thinking we should have got 3 points? What's your opinion?
I think we would take a draw. I think, as we've already said, it's not the best time to be playing United. We definitely would like to have played them a couple of weeks ago. I think in terms of the pain, I mean, I agree exactly everything you said with Monday. My fear is Arsenal's squad. I think our first 11 now is good. I think beyond that, we really started to have problems. So for us, I think we have to take points. Our real problem has been on the season, has been how we've done against the bigger sides. We've been absolutely battered by City, Chelsea and Liverpool. And despite where United are sitting, they were my tip for top 4 before the season started. And I feel like we need to go out and put in a good performance and get a good result against a team that, are seen as up there, even if maybe their table position's lying at the moment. So, for me, it's a really important game for us to show that we're basically not just going to beat away the bottom half of the table teams. So, I'm hopeful, even if I'm not entirely optimistic.
Then we can step up to the plate. Okay, Talk MU. What do you think? Is it very important for United hits? Let's say, Talk, if you got a draw, would you be unhappy with a draw?
Of course I would. We want to win. Always want to win. That's what United are about. And for me, to be fair, I think Arteta will be in the same mindset. Why would he want to go there and just take a draw? You look at how we've been performing over the previous 5, 6, 7 games, apart from the last one, then he's going to take some comfort out of that, surely. And like I say, identifying parts of the pitch where you can take advantage of us, then he's going to want to go there and take them points. There's no way. If he goes there in that mindset, or you as fans go there with the mindset of, I'll be happy with a point, that's no place to be. You want to win. This is Arsenal we're talking about here. Pizzagate, all that nonsense. So, you know what? Both teams are going to want to win. In terms of who's it more important for, I think it's just as important for both clubs, to be fair. Arsenal want to try and get this top 4, and we want to get top 4. So both teams need 3 points, in my opinion.
Very well said, Talk. Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what's being said. I think it is important for both of us, but I think in the wider context now, it's probably more of a must-win for United, because from Arsenal's perspective, we've got a lot more people on board with the Arteta process. So they're going to be a lot more forgiving if we do, as long as we don't get, absolutely whooped again, which, even if we do, if we get whooped, I think people will look at it and go, we've got a young team, one of the youngest teams in the Premier League. It's all the start. This is a blip. We'll get over it. With United, it's going to be they've got a squad that should be winning things. They've got Ronaldo in the team. They've got Pogba in the team. They've got, a lot of big names that you would have expected to win something. And it's not going to look good for them in terms of their points tally, is it? It's like 8
points is a big gap, isn't it?
Yeah. They've got to start. They've got to start soon, haven't they? Getting the result against Chelsea was brilliant, but at this moment in time, in the wider context, I think.
Can I just ask you, as Arsenal fans, can I just ask you three Arsenal fans, do you take any heart from the fact that Chelsea couldn't beat us?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think it's one, especially seeing what Chelsea have been like this season. But at the same time, I do think that there's anomalies all across the league, and not to say it's harder to see an anomaly with Man United because they are a big team. But based on form,
I'll be totally honest. I think we're going to smash you. I think it doesn't matter. that you come along with this. I think we're going.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah,
Come on, Oliver,
I'll
bring
be
it out,
honest.
son.
I'll be honest.
You've been holding on to that, haven't you, since we started the stream?
I think if we don't smash you, then I'll be very upset. But hey, Alex,
Vexed.
what,
You'll be vexed. Terribly
what do you
vexed.
think? What's your opinion? Is it worse? You know, do United have to win if you get a draw? Will you
No,
take a draw?
they have to win. You know, it's a new manager. If they don't win, you know, belief already starts dwindling a little bit, and the belief and everything needs to be now laid in a foundation that needs to be continued, right? So if they don't win or they don't perform well at all, I mean, that's a bit of a crisis again. I mean, if he loses 3 or 5 games, does he get fired as well? Because you expect the only thing to do better than second is to win the league, and that's the expectation now.
Well, he's won a lot in the game, hasn't he, Ragnick? So.
I mean, look, there's
Sorry.
You know, you could get in another manager, which is won maybe more, but that doesn't necessarily always work. I mean, Mourinho had won a lot, right? So, I mean,
Mourinho still won a lot for Man United, though, didn't he?
He did win, but look, I think it's anyway 3 points, but because of the difference of points after that game, if it doesn't go the right way, it's going to be a tougher challenge and a tougher climb to get back. But I do think that a win against Arsenal, and suddenly you'll see the tide shifts a little bit, and then the momentum starts shifting, and the greater average of the last couple of years starts actually showing itself a little bit, which is actually that United is a better team, and so that's just the fact, you know.
It's true, yeah. That is the facts. I get that.
Right. So Arteta, if he had finished third and then second, I mean, he would be a genius, right? So,
but he did win the FA Cup. So.
Yeah. Okay. So he won the FA Cup, but
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't get anything for finishing second.
Look,
And also,
45.
You got smashed against Good Evening on penalties. What was that? 11-10? I mean,
We were expecting you, so we're so disappointed when you didn't make it. You know, we were served up the table for you. You know, we had a nice seat, nice baby seat for you. High tower seat.
Yeah.
Welcome to the European final.
Okay.
I have
Look,
Okay,
the
let me say
pressure is
this.
definitely on United, and it's more important for United to win this game specifically, since it's a new manager. And
even though he's not in the dugout, but he's
3
on the
points is
blower.
3 points,
He's on the
but
blower.
yeah.
Okay, Talk. Did you want to say something there?
No, I was just going to say, for that game when Arsenal failed, I had my Arsenal toilet roll out and everything, so it was a big disappointment.
It's even worse to lose on penalties in the final, though, against a team who.
Mate, listen,
weren't
I didn't want any of it.
They
I
weren't
wouldn't
as good
even
as
gone
you.
to the toilet in it. It's a tin pot piece of crap, mate. I want it.
No, I'll tell you now. If you said to me tomorrow, would you take Europa League?
Of
I'd be
course
like,
you would.
I'd be fucking over the moon, mate.
Of course
I'd
you
be
would, mate.
so bloody happy. I'd be happy with the Carling Cup. They don't even call it that anymore. Anyway, move on. Arsenal
Oats Cup.
didn't even finish in the top 6 last season. They can't be expected to challenge for the top 4 this season. So this game is more important for United, who expect it to be title challengers. There we go. Arsenal fans running their mouth, and now you play United trying to be humble. There we go. Anthony, you play to win, so both teams will go into the game with wanting to do that. Love that, Anthony.
Exactly.
Honest
Yeah.
and fair comment.
Do you think United
yeah.
played to win? I'd say against Chelsea. Do you look at that game and think that they played to win?
No way.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you play for the
Yeah.
draw.
No, pay to win.
You would have started Ronaldo if you played for the win. Arsenal are coming up, fam. Love that, text Maz. Anthony, laugh out loud. Thank you, mate. And United need it, but the Gunners want it. Yes, Dexter Maz. Okay, last comment. We're 8 minutes over. Sorry, Amondi, don't sack me. You know, I need to come back for the next show. So, I'm a gambling man. So I want predictions. I want how many goals. I want the goal scorers and when they're going to be scored. Okay. I like the stats. All right. So Michael, prediction. What's the score going to be?
1-1.
All right. Who's going to score first?
Smith Rowe, 41 minutes.
And who's going to equalise?
And I think Fernandez after 68.
Bruno. There we go. Right, Alex, what's the score going to be?
I think let's say 2-1.
8-2. Oh.
2-1.
2-1 to United.
Yeah, we're gonna have a goal from Bruno and Sancho. There we go.
But is Bruno going to score first?
Yeah, and then Sancho comes in and scores later. But I'm always wrong, so.
And then an Arsenal consolation.
Yeah, and then probably gonna be Smith Rowe.
Smith Rowe with a consolation like that. Adam, what are we thinking? What's the score going to be?
It's going to be 2-0 Arsenal.
Love that. What's the first goal? First
Gabriel's
goal scorer?
going to score a header after 11 minutes
Martin
from a corner.
Gabriel.
Yeah, from a corner, header.
Yeah.
And then let's go Odegaard, 69.
69.
Yeah, at least Odegaard, huh?
Love that number. 69,
Dude.
Amondi, what's your prediction?
I always say 1-0 to United. I think Harry Maguire is going to score from a corner set piece kind of
Is
thing.
he free to play? Is he?
Yeah, I think suspension
Well,
runs out.
that's a good thing
he's
for us
back.
then.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1-0. What minute?
I think score late. A bit sort of midweek games. It's like it's the tension in this, and I think team will cancel each other out and we score late from a set piece.
Okay, set piece. You heard it. Late. Talk. What are we thinking? What's the score?
2-0 United, 6th minute, Marcus Rashford. And then
6 minute, and you're going to defend it out from the 6th.
6th minute, and then the second goal is going to come from Jadon Sancho on the.
You said 1-0, didn't you?
77th. 2-0.
Everyone's predicting a Sancho breakaway goal.
Yeah.
You know what? That could happen.
We have some Jorginho touches.
I'm going to
There's a
go with
touch from Jorginho.
I'm going to go with 2-0. I think Aubameyang at the end of the first half, and then I think we'll get another quick one at the start of the first half, and I think second half. I think Martinelli's going to play, and I think Martinelli's going to score. So Anthony says 8-2 Arsenal.
Double goals for the season. Really.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. I've had so much fun. We went 11 minutes over, but it doesn't matter because we do what we bloody want, all right? Because we're all rock stars. Thank you all so much for coming on the 6-1 Football Show. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Check out all of the umbrellas under FTB. That's the Man United Agenda, Paxton Road, Armory TV, and Cop Talk. Have I got that right on Monday? Have I got everyone?
Yeah,
sure.
it's right.
Yeah.
Cop Talk.
So check them all out. They're all great channels, and it's all great content. Let's see what happens next week. We'll have another show, and we'll see what the score is, and I'm sure we will be made to see what the deal was. It's probably going to be a 0-0 draw, and then we'll all be like, yeah, what a pile of shit. Anyway, peace and love. Namaste. Good night. Check out Amondi, Talk, Adam, Mike on their socials. Get in touch. We love you all. This has been the 6-1 Football Show. Good night.